Hey guys, welcome back to BeerGeekNation.com, and we're going to do another editorial today. Something that happened, I guess it was about 2 weeks ago, and I just haven't had a chance to kind of sit down, really think about it and do a video on it, but I wanted to do it now because I've got a lot of questions from you guys, what I thought about it, and I am talking about the one and only Green Flash Brewing out of California, San Diego to be exact, acquiring kind of partnering up with, I don't know what kind of words they're using, with Alpine Brewing out of, I believe they're in like southern San Diego. They're a little bit further away from Green Flash from what I remember from being out there. Now, if you guys haven't heard of Alpine, which if you're into craft beer, you probably have, they brew some of the greatest IPAs on the planet. Probably in my top 10 IPAs of all time, they have 4 or 5, probably 2 or 3, or my top, 3 or 4. They just brew some fantastic IPAs. They can do no wrong with hops. And of course, Green Flash, just a gigantic, well, not gigantic as far as craft beer goes, one of the bigger craft breweries out in San Diego doing some classic, their West Coast IPA, their Silva Stout. Just great beers, and they're moving to the East Coast as well, opening in a brewery, so they're expanding rapidly as well. So what happened? Well, Green Flash acquired Alpine, or whatever they're calling it. So what does this mean? Well, I did some digging. I found on the Beer Street, I contacted Green Flash. I never heard anything back from them, so I did some digging. I looked on Beer Street Journal, and they had a pretty good outline of what's actually happening. So the big question is, Alpine going to merge with Green Flash and all that stuff? No, they are going to remain independent. They're going to operate independently of one another. So that's a big one, a little bit different than you would think, as opposed to like a merger or something. And how did this all come about? Well, basically Green Flash about a year ago brewed a few beers to help Alpine raise some capital. I believe it was like Duet, Nelson. So they helped them brew a couple beers. Alpine only has a production capacity of 1,500 barrels. With Green Flash's help, with the small amount that Green Flash could provide them, they were able to bump that up to 3,000. So they're able to raise more capital for new brewing equipment, new fermenters, bigger space, what have you. So that's really how this whole kind of collaboration came together. So they decided to kind of make it more financially feasible for both of them, decided to sign some paper, get those contracts going, and now what does this all mean? Well, in 2015, when this is all going to start, Green Flash is going to brew a select few Alpine beers. No one knows really which ones those are. It could be assumed that it's the one they've brewed before. They're going to be available for sale in 22-ounce bottles at Green Flash at Alpine in California only. And that's very important to note. In California only. Even though Green Flash is brewing on one of their bigger, all their bigger equipment, obviously, it's going to still remain in California only. One of the other great things about this, and that they highlighted, is that the Alpine employees are now going to get benefits. They're going to get 401k benefits, and all that good stuff that goes along with being a big company. And I use big loosely, a bigger craft brewery like Green Flash. And again, I have to, what I was wondering, I'm like, all right, we're going to be able to, because I get Green Flash stuff here in Pennsylvania. I'm like, all right, we're going to get Alpine stuff. I was hesitant in saying that, and that's right now is not going to be the case. There was no mention of expansion of distribution at all. I think right now this is just something that Alpine and maybe Green Flash want to kind of feel the water a little bit with before they decide to ramp up. But this is great. I mean, this is really, really great. This is basically a big craft brewery stepping in to help a really world-class craft brewery that's just a little bit smaller, just to kind of help them grow just enough to maybe get to that next level where they can be the next Green Flash. I think it's really a win-win for both. I think Green Flash is getting that Alpine pedigree, which, not to say that Green Flash doesn't brew great beers, but Alpine just, they kill it. They kill it with the hops. They do it. The employees at Alpine are getting those benefits, which is great. It's going to get Alpine's name out there as well. So it's very cool. I think this is the first time this has ever happened. I couldn't, off the top of my head, think of any other times. I looked up some kind of craft beer mergers. I didn't really find anything that was too relevant. But this is very cool. After hearing Anheuser-Busch buying 10 Barrel, and they bought Goose Island and Blue Point, it's really cool to kind of see the craft beer community saying, hey, why don't we do that? And the two breweries breweries really getting together and say, hey, do you want to do this? Is it something that would work out? And it just goes along with the craft beer mythos, I think, you know, the just kind of the modus operandi of how they operate, you know, collaboration, craftsmanship. Let's do this together, you know, let's see what we can get out of it. And I think this is awesome. What do you guys think in the comments section below? Do you think this is going to benefit both? Who do you think is going to benefit more, Green Flash or Alpine? How do you think it's all going to shake out? Let me know in the comments section below. And remember, folks, life's too short. Drink amazing beers. Cheers.